no?
All
Hmm?
right. It's time to start another live.
Oh.
Yes. All right. So let's check and see. We got our chat open here and our title for the evening. For those who have been watching us for a while, we try to be pretty consistent on our timing, Mondays at 7 p.m. I hope that everyone is marking their calendar. On this channel, we cover a lot of different health topics. We try our best to stick with diabetes related topics because that is what our coaching program focuses on. People who have diabetes and want to reverse their diabetes with a whole food plant-based diet like my beautiful wife did. And of course, there's a lot of other health topics that are related to diabetes. You would agree, Carmen, that but aren't specifically diabetic issues.
Mm-hmm.
This one is definitely one of those things that touch almost every chronic disease there is. Not almost, absolutely 100% of chronic diseases are affected by our topic tonight. Antioxidants. Um, I know a lot of people, hear about the importance of having a diet that's high in antioxidants. Um, then if you're like me for a long time, you're not sure what an antioxidant is. Actually, my wife and I, we actually, it was a couple of weeks ago, we started looking into, a simplified definition of breaking down
Mm-hmm.
what an antioxidant is, right? And when
Mm-hmm.
we did that, it was pretty helpful for you, Carmen. Would you say? Like, did you feel like you
Yeah,
understood?
the more I hear the definition, the easier it is to remember.
Which makes sense, repetition
Mm-hmm.
deepens impression. So my first question for the night, first one is, who are you? Where are you watching from? We always ask everyone who's watching to send a greeting so we can share our love with you. And we love those who have been watching from the beginning and are consistent. So, but yeah, I also want to know, you guys know what an antioxidant is? So if you do, let us know in the chat. I'm always curious to see how many people are, how I should say, how well, I guess where our knowledge is starting from. So if you understand a lot, if you understand a little, I definitely want to know. Or you just want to say, no, I have no clue what an antioxidant is. That's cool too. But yeah, share it. No one else can see your comments but us, I think, right? Um,
I guess if they're on the same platform.
oh yeah, depending on your platform, yeah, other people can see it,
Mm-hmm.
because we are showing our lives on multiple platforms. But the topic for tonight is, what are antioxidants? So I am curious to know if you guys who are watching know what antioxidants are. Um, we're also going to be covering why they are important, why does it matter how much antioxidants we're getting in our diet, and then most importantly, we're going to cover where they come from. Um, what if you want to boost your antioxidant exposure? What do you need to do? Right. So that's going to be key. And it was interesting too. I remember, Carmen, when we were going through the importance of antioxidants. I remember you became very keen on the foods that you were adding to your diet, and it's amazing how knowledge does lead to action, right?
Better
Knowledge is
choices.
better choices. You remember
Mm-hmm.
you made comments around the house like, yeah, that we got to watch our antioxidants, learning what damages our DNA, things like that. It's just so important. It's really key. All right. So Audrey says she doesn't know anything about them. Trust me, girl, you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we all hear about, but do we know its importance? So that's my goal for tonight, is to make sure we understand its importance. Highlight. It's Labor Day, right? So happy Labor Day for all those, especially if you had the day off work. God bless you for those who have to work anyway. All right. I don't know if you guys are out on the barbecue and are meeting with family, but happy Labor Day. All right. So despite it being a holiday, we're still here, right? Every Monday. So let's go ahead and I think we can just we have a few slides we're going to cover. The first thing, to really understand what antioxidant is and why it's a hero. If you look at our thumbnail, it's the title was Nature's Superheroes. You have to understand the villain. To understand a hero, you have to understand his enemy. So antioxidants are superheroes, nature's superheroes, because of the effect they have on free radicals, and the damage it causes in our body. All right, free radicals, maybe another term that we're not too familiar with. So I'm going to break that down. And the simplest way to say it is that a free radical is a molecule or a chemical compound that has lost its electron and become unstable. Let me just turn to the slide. That might make it a little clearer as we share our screen here. Right. So if you see, like in this picture, this is a molecule that has one unpaired electron, has made it a free radical. Another way to say it, let me make sure I make our screen. Yeah. So it's this free radical is even if you think of the name radical, right? Free radical, unstable, gives you a clue that it's something going on that's not natural or good, right?
They should be in pairs, but it's not.
Yes, exactly. So electrons should be traveling in pairs, but when it is part of a molecule or compound that has unpaired electron, it becomes that compound becomes unstable, right? It becomes enraged, okay, and it wants to do everything it can to find stability. Who likes to be unstable? Nobody likes to be unstable, right? So think about the free radical. He does not like to be unstable. He wants to find his lost electron, and he's going to steal it anywhere he can get it from, right? He's going to steal it from the cell membranes. He's going to steal it from the protein. He's going to steal it from your DNA. And as he goes through the body, unstable and inflamed and enraged, this free radical is causing damage, right? Tripping over, cell membranes, making them deteriorate. He's messing up enzymes, making them dysfunctional. He's unfolding proteins. And this is definitely problematic, because when proteins become unfolded or misformed, misshapen, you know what this causes? This causes autoimmune diseases. And because your body now sees this new misshaped protein as something foreign. The radicals did that, right? So it's when you're talking about inflammation, autoimmune disorders, chronic diseases, cancer, ages of degeneration, like or age-related diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia. All these free radicals plays a role, or if not the primary source of these conditions, it definitely impacts them. What is interesting is that there's even evidence as we age of free radicals damage, because as free radicals cause this damage, it's actually caused oxidative stress. I don't know if anyone heard the term oxidative stress. It's what researchers say actually is responsible for us aging. I don't know if anyone has age spots. They're like the brown spots you have on your skin, age spots, they call them, right? That's basically the result of free radical damage. Another term for free radical damage is oxidative stress, right? So that oxidative stress shows up as wrinkles, brown spots. So you can actually see the effect on your skin, as well as feel it inside our body. Not a good thing, right? We want to be able to quelch this damage, put it under control. And that's why to the right, you see antioxidants' job is to make that molecule stable now by donating an electron.
Okay.
Now the antioxidant, the hero, essentially quelches or calms down this free radical. And is also responsible. Many antioxidants have the power to also repair its damage, the damage it's done. So it's very important to have in our daily life. Free radical damage occurs all throughout all walks of life. As you can see in this picture here, everything from the sun. Air pollution is interesting because it's more than just air pollution. You would think, obviously, if air pollution can cause damage, free radical damage. But even Just taking a deep breath and fresh air, that oxygen exchange causes free radical damage, right? When you eat and your body's metabolizing food, just the process of extracting energy from your food is causing free radical damage, right? So it's not just unhealthy things like smoking and air pollution and industrial chemicals and highly processed foods and food ingredients that we know are toxic. It's just the everyday walk of life, just living life. Your body's creating free radicals, right? Both in natural processes that we go through from day to day and just going outside and living and breathing the air. Studies actually show that your body's creating up to 800 incidents of DNA damage because of these free radicals every hour. Think about that. Every hour that you're living, your DNA is being under attack, which is especially a concern since if the DNA damage goes on long enough and extensively enough, this is what leads to cancer, right? If you think about how cancer develops, is because a cell is no longer dividing normally. And this could have been because of free radical damage to the DNA of that cell that no longer can keep the cell under control. When it comes to division, it becomes a cancer cell. So something we need to all be worried about. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Is this something that we should care about? Is something that we should know? So now, obviously, you would think, well, if it's such a problem, then why don't we just drop dead, right? Why don't we just, how do we live so long? How do we even make it to 70 or 80 with all this damage to our DNA happening every hour? Well, I want to ask a question first. I'm curious to know, of course, on this channel, there's no wrong or right answers, but does the human body create its own antioxidants? Do humans create their own antioxidants? I want to hear from our audience. What do you guys think? Can we as humans create antioxidants to fight off these free radicals? Do we create these superheroes in our body? Or do we have to get them all from our environment? So what do you guys think? Carmen, I don't know this. I know you don't want to put you on the spot, but this is opinion. There's no wrong answer. What would you think if someone says, the human body asks if whether or not the human body actually creates antioxidants?
I don't know, but if I think
Yes.
about how God created us, I don't think he he would make us where we can't, I don't know, where the body can't heal itself.
Mm-hmm,
In
mm-hmm.
this matter, maybe you need to have your diet back it up, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
just going with that, I guess.
Yeah. Fair enough, for sure. As far as a thought, Susie makes a very good point. She says only animals can create vitamin C, humans cannot. This is definitely true. So vitamin C we can't manufacture. So what about the other antioxidants? Can we create others? There's a whole array and host of antioxidants. Can our body make any? Audrey says she doesn't know. I know many of you are probably thinking about it, but the answer is yes and no. So there are certain, Susie, you kind of leading us in the right direction. There are certain antioxidants your body cannot make. However, because of God's goodness, He did create our bodies with the ability to fight off some of this damage, right? The toxic effect of oxidative stress. Our body does have, to some degree, mechanisms, enzymes, antioxidant enzymes that can quench some of its damage. That being said, we don't make enough.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make enough. Obviously, if you go back to the last picture, just living life, our body is exposed to so many things
So
that
many, yeah.
free radical damage. Our body needs the substance that comes from foods, plants, right? Plants do create a whole array of these antioxidant superpowers. And that's why we need to turn to them to supply us with protection against free radical damage. If you think about it, it makes sense because plants are out there in the sun. They need protection from the UV rays. They need protection from pollutants. So God has designed this world, and it's so beautiful to think about. He's put the medicine in the food, right? So the remedy is in what we can eat from day to day, 3 times a day. We can be eating to reverse some of this damage and also prevent and protect us from it. So it's really important to know that you need to get it from from foods. I like to equate free radical damage to the Hulk to explain it a little further. So, think of the free radicals going through your body like the Hulk, right? He wants to be, he's angry, he's enraged, and he's going to do all he can to get back to his old self, right? And so we need these things, these environmental insults, whether there be food or stress. We're going to go into a study on that real quick. We need some way to calm it down, and that's where antioxidants come into play. Antioxidants donate an electron to turn the Hulk into mild-mannered Bruce Banner again, right? So anyone who's familiar with the Hulk, Bruce Banner is the quelched, calmed down molecule because antioxidant has now made it stable. So I like that explanation. Hopefully that makes sense. But it's not just important when it comes to chronic disease, but it's also important when it comes to longevity, right? Studies show that the longest living animals actually produce or have mechanisms to reduce free radical damage. So, for example, you got I think that's a gosh, I forgot what that animal's called. Somebody help me out.
The rat?
No, it's not a rat. It's not a rat. It's not a rat.
Okay.
I can't
It
remember.
looks like a rat.
Its lifespan is about a year. Yeah, but compared to some whales that can live 200 years, you got some mammals that can live up to a year. And at first you might think it's because of metabolism, but it's not. Studies show even when metabolism is kept as a non-factor, it's all because of the animal's ability to control the rate of free radical production, right? Animals that can control or keep free radical damage down live longer than those that don't, right? So for any of us who are looking, and this is actually why a lot of studies, Carmen, this is interesting. We read books and looking at studies all the time between vegetarian diets and diets that are meat animal based. And consistently, those people in populations around the world who have plant-centered diets live longer. It just makes sense if when you think about the antioxidant exposure that one has on a plant-centered diet, right? Yeah. Someone said he looks like an anteater. I'm gonna find out the animal. I forgot what it is. It's been I shouldn't even say a long day, but yeah, just yeah. But anyway, that to me, I think something that was worth sharing. This study is also worth sharing. So according to studies, and this shows you why it's so important to maximize your exposure to antioxidants at every meal, because even just a single antioxidant deficient meal, meaning a meal that is like highly processed or meat animal based, little plants in the meal, can actually put you in a state of pro-oxidant stress for hours. Meaning, so if you think of it this way, your body has insults and it has a way to meet that insult, right? The antioxidant. But when you become unbalanced, right, you can be unbalanced or in a state of oxidative stress, right, where these free radicals are causing damage throughout the body for hours because there's not enough antioxidants in you to quelch some of that damage. And that can happen when you have just one bad meal for hours.
Wow.
Right. So that's why it's not enough to just down a nice fruit smoothie in the morning and think you're covered for the rest of the day, because that protection only lasts for so long. The healthy meal you had last night is not going to cover you in the morning, right? The fruit smoothie you have in the morning is not going to cover you by lunch, right? You need to have healthy meals and maximize your exposure to antioxidant-rich food all day, every day. This next study was really interesting too. It's a 1 year study where what they did is they actually used argon laser to measure how much free radical damage, or I should say, no, sorry, how much antioxidants is under the skin at any one time. And what they found is that when someone is in a stressful event, right? So the I guess the end goal of the study was to see how stress impacts your antioxidants that are flowing through your system. Just one stressful event can plummet your antioxidant levels for up to 2 hours, right?
Wow.
I'm sorry, within 2 hours, and it takes about 3 days to recover to back to the baseline. So, stress,
Really? Wow.
huge inducer of oxidative stress. Well, yeah, makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So antioxidant plummet within hours and can take up to 3 days to recover.
Wow, that's crazy.
Does anyone think they need to reduce some of the stress in their life?
Boy.
Right? We absolutely do, right? So it's not. It just shows you, it's a holistic approach, right? And
Yeah.
that's what we always attempt to teach on Diabetes 180. It's not just diet, but it's your whole lifestyle, a lifestyle approach. So,
Mhm.
coming close to the end here, the next question you must ask yourself is, which foods then should I be eating or centering my diet around if I want to make sure I'm maximizing my exposure to antioxidants all day? And that's the obvious answer right there, right? Carme, is plants.
Mhm.
Plant-based foods. Plant foods are 60 times more rich, I should say, in antioxidants than animal foods are. So, just for example, if you look at, this is a nice little example: fresh salmon, 3 units of antioxidants, right? Chicken, 5 units. Skim milk and an egg, 4 units of antioxidants, right? So compare that to some other foods like cherries having 714, cooked
Wow,
broccoli,
broccoli have a lot.
right? I saw studies vary from 15 to 2,000. And then a half cup of kidney beans, 13,000 units. So,
Wow, I had a lot of kidney beans today. That's
so
good.
give me some beans and put away the chicken, right? So every time you're exposing yourself to a plate that is majority plants, you are exposing yourself to superheroes. You're exposing yourself with power to reverse that ongoing damage that's happening through all the day, right? Every day. That's why we think it's so important to tackle your diabetes or any chronic disease with a whole food plant-based approach, right?
Mhm.
Any other approach, I really must say, it does fall short when you're looking at longevity and not just single measures like, well, my blood sugars are under control. But what about everything else?
Yeah.
Everything else. A holistic approach is what we teach. So if you're going in closing, if you are looking for to categorize your exposure, we had our study. This is what led to this study, or this live last week. We talked about spices, right? And spices. That's because spices are ounce for ounce the most potent antioxidant rich food source, right?
Okay.
So if you're going to do anything at all, start using spices, right? Put away the salt and start using spices. Experiment. They are full, just jam packed with antioxidants. Berries, on average, have up 10 times more than fruits and vegetables. So that gives you an idea. Spices are king, and berries have 10 times more than fruits and vegetables, right? Spices have a lot. So fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, all those plant sources are rich in antioxidants. But spices and berries are something you definitely want to you use to boost your exposure to
Mhm.
antioxidants, right? Oh man, we went through that pretty quick,
Yeah.
which I don't think is a bad thing at all. But yeah, so I wonder if we have any questions. We didn't have much questions going through this live. This was pretty some easy live to go through. Of course, if you have questions later on, you can always post it in our chat. Another thing you can do is join our Facebook group. We have it linked in our description section. Join a Facebook group, and you have access to A lot of great resources in our group as well as like-minded people trying to overcome the struggle of chronic disease with whole food plant-based diet. So we always give a giveaway, right, Carme? So today it's real simple, a free consultation for diabetes reversal. So if you or a loved one is suffering from diabetes and you want to know what it takes to come off medications, to increase your consumption of carbs without blood sugar spikes, right? To do this because you tried to do it on yourself and you're failing, then just go ahead and scan the code and you have access to a scheduler, a calendar to schedule free consultation. And this is usually about 30 minutes to 40-minute discussion with myself to let you know the path that you need to take to reverse diabetes, right? And also, of course, we discuss our 3-month coaching program to see if it's the right fit for you. So, beloved, I pray above all things you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. We'll see you next week. I should say, Carmi, next week's live is going to be great because we're going to talk about vitamins.
Yeah.
And vitamins is something that, on this live, I might lose some friends, but I'm gonna talk about vitamins. I'm gonna answer a very important question: do vitamins, or I should say, are vitamins worth the money? Okay, are vitamins worth your money in the context of reversing or preventing chronic disease? Right. So you don't want to miss that live. And a lot of us are probably on a daily vitamin, multivitamin. This is a live for you for sure.